or fixed deposits, or even
Hello everyone, welcome you all to the Achievers Adda platform. So guys, this will be a day number 2 of the demo classes. I told previously also 3 days class will be there and tomorrow also will be conducting. And in this particular session, what in yesterday's session we have covered the communication introduction in the process of communication. Related to that, previous year questions got covered. After that, now we are going to start with the types of communication. First, I will explain the topic of communication types. After that, we'll discuss the previous year questions related to that communication. All right. So I hope audio, video, everything is clear. Those who are watching in YouTube, those who are watching in Achievers Adda app. So guys, after looking after the demo classes which we are offering, if you would like to join in our UGC NET December 2025 batch, this is a Sankalp batch. This is a Sankalp batch for the paper 1 and paper 2 commerce, paper 2 management, all in one for your JRF, because in this the live classes will be there. If you miss the live, recording will be there, and topic wise previous year question, topic wise detailed PDF will be provided, topic wise quizzes and NT interface CBT mock test will be there. And not only that, in the mega offer, if you join now, 10% extra discount, these are the offer fees, and also 1 month extra validity you are going to get it, as well as at the end whatever the revision course that we are going to launch, that will be available for free to the paid members. If you are paying for this complete batch, you will also get the free revision course. So this fees are offer fees are mentioned in this table. You can just go through with that. If you have any doubt, you can contact on our number. Thank you. So let us get started towards the today's session. Yesterday we have covered till here. I think till so now we need to start the types of communication. Basically, how many types of communication? How many types of communication? Very good evening, Pradeepta. Okay. Good evening, Pradeepta. So here, have we solved this question or not? Once confirm. We'll start the types of communication, that is verbal and non-verbal communication. First, we are going to discuss. Basically, we'll try to cover in types of communication what will come. Let's start discussing in types of communication what will come. Basically, there are two types of communication: verbal, non-verbal communication. Verbal and non-verbal are the two types of communication. And in the verbal, Again, we have categorized into two things: oral communication as well as written communication. And non-verbal is with a facial expression as well as by using a signs, by using a symbols, by using a voice modulation, like by touch communication, time communication. All these things are going to cover. Guys, 1 second, just a delivery person is calling. Just a 1 second. Okay. So non-verbal communication is other than the written, other than the words. Like oral communication is nothing but by use of words with a mouth. Now we are speaking. We are speaking. That comes under the oral communication. By use of words only we are communicating each other. Written communication is nothing but it is more of formal in nature. More of formal communication in nature. Generally, written communication is whatever we write, the mails and the letters that we write to communicate to the other person, the application that we make to the other person to communicate, that comes under this written communication. So basically, these are the two types of communication. I will explain in detail regarding this, but there are some other types of communication which we need to understand. Some other types of communication in recent examination, these are more: interpersonal communication as well as intrapersonal communication. The third one is related to group communication. Fourth one is a classroom communication. Classroom communication is also called as a small group communication, right? And public communication, mediated communication, technological communication, and also mass media communication. Mass media which we are using to communicate, right? These are the general types which were appeared in the recent PYQs of 2020, 2024 and 2023. We are going to solve all this question after explanation of the concept. Now, if you see, the types of verbal and non-verbal. In verbal and non-verbal, basic thing is that first let us discuss the verbal communication. In verbal communication, first we talk about the oral, as I told. Oral communication is through with a mouth. You can see this symbol that by our mouth only we are talking to other person. We are talking to other person. Generally we use it in interview and speeches, seminar, meetings. We use to talk with other person. That comes under the oral. Written is more of handwritten, typed, printed. hand delivery or by the post, or writing a letter, writing a mail, writing a message, all these are written communication. Not necessarily the written communication always be formal. Not necessarily always be formal, because WhatsApp message is an informal communication, that is a social media, it is not a formal. But when a business we are using, that will be a formal communication, right? So we cannot say it will be a formal communication. Now, if you see non-verbal communication, in non-verbal communication, we are having with the use of sign language, as well as body movement, facial expression, time language, para language, which is a voice modulation, appearance, which is artifactual communication, proxemics, spatial communication. All these are comes under the non-verbal communication. Now, regard to the oral communication, when we use the oral communication in our communications process, we require these basic elements to satisfy. Clarity of objective, and must be as much as concise as possible, and use the polite word. Three things. What you want to talk, you must be having a clarity. What you want to talk, you must be having a clarity. And when you are talking, you must be having a brief. It must be having a brief, to the point, in a concise way, communicate to the other person. Don't beat around the bush. To the point, you need to communicate to the other person, and without any lagging. Here, polite words and tone. We should not be offensive to insulting anyone. We should not be offensive to insulting anyone, and it should not be comes under offensive words or insulting words to anyone while talking, because words, once you slip over your tongue, then definitely you cannot take it back. Only you can say sorry. That is why you must be very careful in using the words. This is a question which is appeared. Answer this question kindly. Verbal communication, non-verbal communication, encoding, decoding. Match the following question. What will be the answer? Some are saying option 3. Option 3. Right. Verbal. So here, answer is 3 only. Verbal communication is going to be with the use of spoken words or the written words. That is verbal. And non-verbal communication will be a facial expression and the body language. Encoding is converting the thoughts into message. Decoding is interpreting the message. As it is list 1, list 2, both are given equally. Right. Sorry. Now let us start discussing what are the basic elements of effective written communication. Written communication basic elements are, here first you have to organize your thoughts. When you are writing a letter, suppose you are writing a letter to your girlfriend or writing a letter to your senior manager for applying for a leave. When you are writing a letter, first you should know to whom you are writing, audience. So based on the audience, you can able to decide what you want to communicate. After knowing the audience, then organize the thoughts. What you want to write on the paper, what you want to write on the mail. Organize the thoughts. Whatever your ideas there in mind, properly put it on the paper or put it on the mail. Concise, to the point you need to write. Don't write the paragraphs. Write to the point in a bullet way. Next, simple and familiar language you must have to use. Avoid the jargon words. Simple words you must have to use. Avoid the jargon language. Jargon means technical words. technical words which you use. If you are using a technical words, everybody may not be having familiarity towards the technical words. That is why we must be very careful in using those words. And while writing, when you are writing something, don't assume anything. Other person doesn't know anything or other person knows everything. We should not assume anything. Simply what we need to do, we should write what we want to communicate, what we want to request them, what we want to get from them. For that purpose, you can write. Don't assume anything when you are writing to other person. And your proofreading is required. After writing is completed, it is very much useful to read again by yourself. Self-reading or give it to some other person for the proofreading. If any mistakes or errors are committed, you can able to rectify before sending itself, rather than sending in a super fast way. Difference between the oral and written communication. So oral communication, use of non-verbal language. Now I'm communicating here. I'm speaking with my mouth, with words I'm speaking. My hands are moving, my facial expressions are changing, eye contact is there. Eye contact is there. Everything is happening. So in oral communication, when you are talking to other person, you must take the help of the non-verbal involuntarily. Involuntarily means without knowing, unknowingly, automatically non-verbal communication will be coming while communicating in a oral way. Even though oral communication is verbal, even though oral communication is a verbal communication, still oral communication will take a help of a non-verbal communication. And written communication. Written communication is a layout and presentation is required. Now I'm presenting here my slide. That is a written communication which I'm doing. And what I'm talking orally with my words and my actions, that is comes under the non-verbal in supporting of oral communication. Fast in conveying. Which one will take less time to communicate the other person? By words, directly face-to-face communication by talking. Writing, in writing, if you are communicating, you need to write, other person has to read, they have to understand, they have to give a reply, it will take a time. But in a oral communication, it will be very fast. As then and there, both can happen. Next, a more personal touch will be there in the oral communication, less personal touch will be there in the written communication. And this is immediate feedback is going to be there. Immediate feedback is going to be there in oral communication, whereas in a written communication, delayed feedback. And this is less thoughtful. While talking, we will not think much to talk. But while writing, we will think much to write anything to communicate. That is why the differences are very much clear in this. Next, the question you can see here. This is 2024 question only. What we are doing is 2023, 2024, 2025 questions only. Please do hit a like button if you like the session. Under which type of communication house journals fall? Whether it is house or anything, here journals they are talking. Journals usually be a written communication. Journals are nothing but it is like a paper based communication or online communication to communicate. Right, it is comes under the written communication, option number 3. Next, there are principles for effective communication. For effective communication, there are 7 principles, 7 C's of communication, we call it as. This 7 C's of communication was given by the Cutlip. Seven C's of communication given by the Cutlip. Please write it down. 7 C's of communication given by the Cutlip. However, I will tell you the major barrier here. The hurdle is that 𝐷𝐿 has given these 7 C's. But what they're asking in a question, sometimes it may be mismatching with the other given 7 C's also. I'll show you that questions also. 7 C's of communication for effective communication. 7 C's. Completeness, conciseness, consideration, concreteness, courtesy, clearness, correctness. Courtesy, clearness, correctness. What is completeness? When you are communicating anything, give a complete picture of all the facts, all the material information which is required for understanding to the receiver. Give all the facts and ideas. Conciseness, proper selection of the words and avoid the use of unnecessary words. You should have the selectivity in words. When you don't use the selective choosy words, then obviously miscommunication may happen. Proper words, if you use in a polite way, without abusing, without insulting, it will be communicating a negative message also in a sensitive way. Otherwise, a positive message also can be understood in insensitive way. That is why we must be very careful. Avoid the use of unnecessary words and consideration. When you are communicating with other person, keep always in mind who are your audience, to whom you are writing, to whom you are communicating. By keeping their point of view in your mind, you have to communicate either orally or in written, verbal or non-verbal. Keep always your audience in mind to communicate. Next, concreteness must be clear and definite information. It should not be ambiguous information. It should not be ambiguous information. Because while communicating, no chaos, no confusion should be created because of your message that is communicated. Courtesy, use a polite language. Avoid the self-praise. Always don't tell about you only. Whenever you get opportunity, don't praise about yourself. Tell what you want to tell. Tell in a respectful way, in a polite way, without bad words, without insulting. And easy to understand, that is clearness. Very easy to understand with a minimum effort. Also, correctness based on the facts, based on the correct and reliable information, means use the accurate and authentic information. Before telling any facts to anyone, authenticate the information with you. Authenticate the information with you. Right? Formal communication. Formal communication. Now, in formal communication, this is another, we also call this as an organizational communication. Because in our companies, most of the cases we use this only. Most of the case we use this organizational communication. Formal, one person to another. A manager want to communicate with the employee. Employee want to communicate with the CEO. Or one employee, other employee want to talk. For the work purpose, whenever you are talking, we use the formal communication. Before going into the formal communication in detail and the types of formal communication, let's answer this question. Which of the following will help in improvising the communication? 7 C is related to some extent. What happened, Sunita N? Answer is option number 2. Yes, why? Because for improvising the communication, they are asking for improvising the communication. Non-consideration of other views. No, consideration is one of the C. As per the 𝐷𝐿, consideration of others, because you are communicating with us. Intelligible encoding means proper framing of the message. Proper framing of the message that you want to communicate. Clarifying the purpose of the message. Yes, this is clarity. Another C. After that, identification of receiver needs. This is also comes under the consideration. Ignoring is a negative word that is to be eliminated. So here for improving means positive in question. Now eliminate the negative things in the options. Then you will get the BCD correct option, option B. Question is positive, answer should be positive. Identify the correct statement for effective communication. So effective means again positive statements we need to select. Non-verbal includes the written words. Is it so? Non-verbal, verbal are the two different categories of communication. Whether non-verbal includes a written communication, is it correct statement? Cultural difference can affect the interpretation of the message, obviously, because cultural difference. Based on the culture, language also can change. Now, Telangana, this Telugu culture, Andhra and Telangana, in that itself, two different cultures and the slang itself is different. So, culture can make an interpretation difference. Interpersonal communication involves a direct communication. Yes. Interpersonal, one person to another person. Effective communication measures clarity and mutual understanding. So here only one thing which we need to eliminate is that A, B, C, D is a answer. Let's see what is the correct answer. Yes, it is B, C, D. Now another culture related only. Let's complete this cultural meaning. Cultural meaning of a text. Cultural meaning of a text. Cultural meaning of a text. I request you all to make a note of 2 points, last question point and this point also. This point certainly somehow related to the concept, but we are trying to learn from this. So it is connotation. What is connotation, denotation? Let's try to understand. Sir, denotation meaning is that the meaning as per the dictionary. And wherever the culture, whichever the culture you belong to and wherever you belong to, the dictionary meaning will not change. So cultural meaning of a text cannot be a denotative. And connotative means a personal definitions are the personal meanings. Personal definitions are the personal meanings according to the situation, according to the emotion, according to the culture. One's own interpretation is called as an connotation. One's own interpretation according to the situation or the emotion or the culture, we call it as an denotation, sorry, connotation. So denotation, connotation, two words, you have to add it in your notebook. Connotation refers to personal and cultural meaning in addition to the primary and literary meaning of the word. Denotation refers to dictionary meaning of a word. That's it. Now let us answer one more question related to the same. A set of rules governing the visual and linguistic signs. Sign is a symbol which is a non-verbal communication, and linguistic is related to language, visual communication also there. Within a particular culture, what we call it as the set of rules governing the use of visual linguistic signs within a particular culture is referred as media rule, text frame, technical norms, code. Please make a note of this point in your notebook. I will tell you. Answer is code. What is code? You should understand. What is code? Code is a set of rules. Now coding. I am learning the coding. In a software terminology, coding means a rules which is required to make a one software or to make a one program. Am I correct? If I am wrong, please correct me. That is a general understanding. Let us not to go into the details. General understanding. Code means a rules which is governing to make a software in a software or IT terminology. So here in the communication, the rules which are governing the use of visual, linguistic, the language in a particular culture is called as a code, and it will be helping to interpret the language. All those language will understood by those culture people. Now I am Telugu. I will understand, my Telugu people will understand my Telugu language. My Telugu people will understand the signs and symbols that we use it here. That is our culture. Their interpretation of language, their interpretation of symbol, gesture, images will be culturally meaningful. Culturally, it will differ. Same symbol may not differ the same meaning in other culture. It may differ. So, linguistic sign means the human's capacity to create a signs that mediate between them and their environment. Their environment here is defined as a culture in the question. The symbols that we are using to communicate within a particular environment. Signifier, this is a rose. Rose we are saying, the flower. So neither a word nor the object, but the relation between the two is that called as a linguistic sign. Linguistic sign definition, you can write it. Now we are discussing a formal communication. In between we left. Let's come back to the formal communication. Formal communication is also treated as an organizational communication. All right. In organizational communication, we have this type, like a hierarchy. CEO or the board of directors of the company, managing director of the company. Under that, all the managers are there. Under each manager, there are supervisors. Under each supervisor, there are employees, like this. Communication when goes from the top to bottom. Communication when goes from the top to bottom, or bottom to top, or horizontally, or crisscross. In any way, all these are types of formal communication, right? So in a formal communication, when you are moving from the hierarchy, top level to manager level, supervisor level, then this is called as an vertical downward communication. There are two types of communication in vertical. There are two types of communication in vertical. I'll show you, because this is where confusion. Vertical is one of the type of formal. In that, downward communication, upward communication. When it is coming from top level to bottom level, it is downward communication. When you are going from bottom level to top level to communicate, that is called as an upward communication. Top to bottom is downward, and downward to top is upward communication. These two are part of the vertical communication, because vertical means like this only, na? Either top to bottom or bottom to top. Next, there are two other types. Suppose here purchase manager trying to communicate with another manager. This manager is trying to communicate with a sales manager. So at the same level people are communicating, means horizontal this way. Same level people are communicating, horizontal. Horizontal communication, we call that as same level people. between the co-worker, different areas of responsibility is horizontal. This horizontal is also called as an lateral communication. Now I will ask one question, sir, here. You answer me. I'll ask one question. Where gossips will be more created in a formal communication? By default, gossip is an informal communication. But in a formal communication, in which of the following formal communication types, possibility of the grapevine or possibility of the informal or the possibility of the gossip communication will be more? Where it will be? Where it will be more? In these four types only you should answer. Lateral communication it is. Diagonal I didn't even discuss, sir. That is horizontal communication only. Because when we are two friends, then only gossip will come. Arey, he's having girlfriend, definitely. She's having boyfriend, definitely. Like that. When we are friends, then only we talk like that. If we are not friends, if we are not same level, we will not become friends. We will make a friends only between the same level. We will not make a friendship with our subordinate. We will not make a friendship with our boss. We will only making a friendship with our level, same level. So same level communication can lead to grapevine. The horizontal communication can lead to grapevine. This is a previous year question, sir. Now last and final communication is a crosswise or a diagonal communication. Crosswise or a diagonal. This is called as an diagonal communication. Anybody can communicate to anyone without any limit. In case of emergency situation, we can communicate to any person. We will not look for the hierarchy. Emergency, some fire occurred. Attender also can call to CEO. That is emergency situation. We call this emergency communication as an gangplank communication. Gangplank. Violation of scalar chain. Scalar chain means hierarchy, top to bottom, bottom to top. We can violate this in an emergency situation. We call that as a gangplank communication. Now let us answer this question. In the line organization, best suited communication. That is downward communication. Formal, obviously top to bottom will be useful. Just now we discussed. Next question. Step on the scale. Step on the scale, please. Step on scale. It represents which function of language? Which function of language? Please do hit a like button if you want to appreciate the efforts. And if you like it, then only like it. If you don't like, please do dislike button also. There is no problem in that. Step on scale, please, represents which function of language? Step on scale. Let's discuss. This is a directive communication. Now I have told you another new formal type communication. You can add the fifth type of formal communication as directive communication. Directive means you are giving a direction to the other person. Based on the option, you should decide. Directive language is treated as an, if you want to guide someone, if you want to guide someone, or if you want to caution someone, if you want to give an instruction to someone, we use this directive communication formula. And informative language is used to communicate the factual details. Expressive communication is to convey the emotions. Performative language is to communicate an action. Do this, do that. So how to perform? What to perform? That is performative language. Expressive is to express emotions. Informative is to tell the facts. Now in formal communication, what are the major advantages and disadvantages? Formal communication is more effective because people will take it seriously in the organization. If boss is communicated something, or if a supervisor communicated something, they will take very seriously to communicate. Next, the coverage point of view. One circular has been issued, it will circulate to entire organization. NTA will give one circular, it will circulate within seconds to all the students. How? Because that is a formal official communication. And filtering of information from top to bottom, this much information given by the top management. But filtered communication, only this much will be shared to the bottom person. Only the small information will be shared. Ensured clarity of the goals. Clarity of what you want to communicate, it will be more clearly can be conveyed to the other person. That is, ensure the clarity of goals. Fixing responsibility on a person, because downward or upward, if anybody communicated, you need to follow that one and you need to properly follow the given instruction by the supervisor or the subordinate. Subordinate will follow the instruction, supervisor will give the instruction. Further reference, what you communicate, it will be on the record, either in written or else somewhere. So whether it is done or not, you can able to have the future references. Job satisfaction. When seniors are guiding the juniors, subordinate, supervisor will get more satisfaction here. Supervisor will get more satisfaction. What are the disadvantages? These are general things, sir. Do not concentrate much, because even if the question comes from this area, we are in a position to decide, because we know what is formal, what is informal, what is verbal, what is non-verbal. And when we know the meaning, we can able to decide the advantage and disadvantage also based on the given options. It is much expensive in the organization as it is formal and distant. Time consuming process. Feedback may not be, because people will fear. People will fear. Due to that, the feedback may not be given accurately. And they are afraid to give a feedback to the seniors or their boss. Lack of personal touch. No flexibility. Much information is given. Overloaded information. Full excessive information also will lead to burden on the receiver. But receiver cannot understand. When this much information is given, receiver cannot understand. Right? It leads to distorting of the message. Now, aage sir, share. On this, many questions are there. Grapevine. What is grapevine? What is grapevine? What is grapevine? In discussion, we have done formal communication. What is another one? Informal communication. Informal communication. Look at this, three idiots. And look at this fellow, Papa. Informal communication, we call this as a grapevine. Grapevine. We also call this as grapevine or informal communication or gossips. In regular terminology, we call it as gossips. Does it have any rules and regulations like a formal communication? It doesn't have any rules and regulation. Doesn't have any rules and regulation. It doesn't follow the predefined channels of communication. There is no proper channel. Anybody can create a rumor on anyone. Specifically the girls, they can create a rumor on any person easily. And it is carried by their groups. One person to another person unknowingly you will share. Sharing with other people. That's how the spreading of a grapevine will be there. The technical word we call it as a grapevine. The technical word we call it as a grapevine. Right? Grapevine communication. And here it is called because it stretches throughout the organization in all. Organization in all. Everywhere, every part, whether it is a ground level, downward level, upward level, boss level, CEO levels, this grapevine informal communication necessary. NTA cancelled UGC net. This is a perfect example. Some YouTubers are saying in the thumbnail or some are saying that NTA cancelled or UGC net cancelled, UGC net is going to be removed, like that. That is a rumor which is spreaded and it is being viewed by many students and confused also, which is being carried on by the people, carried on by the students, created by someone. Right? So, grapevine, can we find who created it in a rumor? Can we find the origin? We may find, it may be possible, but it is very difficult to identify that origin. Very difficult to identify that origin. Very difficult to identify who has created it. Generally, rumors will be created to share our feelings, share our emotions. We create a rumor on the other person. See that? We create a rumor on the other person, generally. And here, gossips and a casual talk. Gossips, casual talk. When people work together, it is quite natural to discuss about the personal things. So, what your husband does, what your wife does. Arey, my wife never listened to me. My husband also never listened to me. Like this chit chat in the office. What is your breakfast? You know that that girl, newly joined, newly hired person went through with a manager for a lunch. Yes, yes, yes. That is how. Just only lunch. They'll create. Pick up and drop also he is only doing. Adding value addition with the girls. One more extra information they'll add. Another person, this B person will tell to C. There pick up and drop also going on. Now C will inform to D in a what way? Not only pick up and drop, even weekends also they are meeting outside. Now D to E, what it will come? D person will inform to E, they're actually in love, they patch up each other. Now E to D, they are going to get married soon. Khatam. Where it got started? In the organization. Where it went now? That is how, where it started, where it is going to end, we cannot say in the informal communication. In informal communication, that is a difficulty, very difficult to identify the origin. It is created by the friends, it is created by the people, and they will only spread it. They will say, I don't know. I got information from other person, I don't know. Like that, it will be done, usually. Because rumors will spread like a wildfire. Truth will crawl like a born kid. Right now, truth will take a time to reach. But rumor can spread like a wildfire within seconds. If I put UGC net cancelled video, it can reach to 1 lakh within 1 hour. But if I put this much subjective 1 hour, 1.5 hour lecture, it may not reach that much. That is the problem. Same example we can apply. Now you can answer this question. What is grapevine communication? Corporate, agree-based, formal, informal. Sir, it is 50 minutes completed. Now we need to complete the barrier, sorry, interpersonal, intrapersonal, that also. Many questions are there on that itself. Let's move, let's move. I think today voice is clear, no? No problem with the voice if I'm not wrong. Kindly confirm on that once. Everything audible properly, video also, all clear. Can we go with these settings because yesterday some settings were not there properly. All clear. Great. Chalo sir, it is the informal communication. Option 4. Why the grapevine will be created? What is the necessity? What is the reason behind the grapevine communication? For creating a grapevine communication, what is the necessity? What is the use of it? Grapevine communication. Urge to talk. Sholay movie. Have you seen Sholay movie? Urge to talk. Sholay and Basanti. Urge to talk. Sholay ki Basanti. Suppose in a college, you went to the college for the first time. Girls are there, boys are in this side. All these girls are the boys. Actually, they are looking at each other for the first time, no? But for the first time, they are watching and want to talk, but can't able to talk. Want to reach out to them, but shyness. First day of the college. How can we do that? Not possible. So us to talk. Now here certain jokes, small jokes, small rumors can make it very near. Can make a friendship slowly, helping them to open the door, helping them to bring a water, give them a water, and helping them to identify where this that laboratory and all, just guiding them to do, so that they can get a connection from there. That is how us to talk and create a grapevine. It is an informal talk, and it supports the formal information. In a meeting, suppose in a meeting, the team leader is saying to all the members, "Are whoever is this year 2025 on the new year or on the Diwali, you are going to get a 10% bonus to all the members. But those are going to complete this month target, now you are going to get a bonus." Like that, he given a small information to the entire team. Entire team completed their targets in this month. But manager said, actually to motivate you people, I told that 10% bonus is going to be there. He created a rumor, chumma. Nothing is there, no 10%, nothing. He created a rumor just to boost their motivation. That is supporting the formal communication. Nah? To support the formal communication, he added a informal communication help. Next year, the third one, lack of direction. When you are emotionally weak, when you are very much depressed, you need a guidance of other person. One friend will come now who will put a shoulder on your hand, their hand on your shoulder. Okay, nothing will happen. One time only, na, you failed. I failed 5 times. Am I crying? No, na. So be strong, like that. When you lack of direction to guide other person, informal communication can happen. Lack of self-confidence. When you don't have a confidence on you, but you have a confidence on other person, you will trust the other person more. That is why you will believe more rumors. You don't have a confidence on yourself. You don't have a confidence on yourself. Next, giving others a feeling of insecurity. A group will be formed. A group will be formed. Sir, there is nobody. What happened, Pradipta? So some employees in the organization form a Kotari. Kotari will be there now, group will be there. Your gang will be like this only. Look at, you will be continued like this only. Passing a comment on other person. giving a feeling of insecurity to them. Actually, these people are feeling insecure. That is why they are passing a comment on other person. That is why they are passing a comment on other person. That comes under grapevine only. And expressing your worries, your problems, your concern. There also the grapevine communication will come, because when the organization is going in a difficult phase. So, look at here, another one. Why grapevine will be conducted? Another one. Most important. Obtain a secret information. Obtain a secret information. Look at this girl mouth, as if mosquito will go inside this mouth. So during the informal talk, an employee may unintentionally divulge into some secret information. Secret information. Some secret information will be there. Like this, they will share some unimportant, irrelevant secret in the meeting. That is unintentionally some secret information they want to reveal. That comes under this obtaining a secret information. Next, team spirit. To build a team spirit also, the informal communication will be created by the formal person. And here, try to understand one thing. There are 4 types of. What's going on? 4 types of grapevine. How many types? 4 types. 4 types of grapevine. Informal types. Single strand chain, cluster chain, probability chain, gossip chain. This sequence is important, sir. Single, cluster, probability, cluster. Like this only you should read in the same sequence. What is single strand? A is informing to B, B is informing to C, C is informing to D. Only single chain is going on. Single strand chain. Swarna is saying to 𝐷𝐿𝐿, 𝐷𝐿𝐿 is saying to Pradipta, Pradipta is saying to Priyadarshini, Priyadarshini is saying to Kavya, Kavya is saying to Saundarya, Saundarya is saying to Gayatri, Gayatri is saying to Fayaz, Fayaz is saying to Arul, Arul is saying to Shanti, Shanti is saying to Krishna, Krishna is saying to Veni. Like that it is keep on going. That is single strand. Now, cluster chain. What is cluster? A selectively tells something to. A selectively tells something to C, D, F. A is trusting. These are close friends. Cluster. It is not a network, Sharada. Please don't confuse. I have not formed a network in the single strand. That is only a single line of communication it is. That's it. That is not a strand. And here, cluster chain. A selectively tells something to the group. Their group. Because these people are very trusted people of the A. Few selected individual to whom the sender trusts. Then some of these individuals can inform to few other. Now F is trusting I and B. B is trusting J and K. K is trusting L and M. Like this, only trusted people group they'll inform. That is called as a cluster. Cluster means a group which we trust. Next, a probability chain. By definition, probability means random. Randomly. A will be informing to the other person who randomly comes into contact. A will be informing to the other person. Very, very less important information will be shared here. A will be informing to some random person. This person will be randomly informing to some other person. This person randomly informing to some other person. There is no trust required because less important information. The information is not much important in this. Next here, gossip chain, which is original network. A is having some information about the Z. A shared with all the people whoever comes into his contact. A is sharing with all the people whoever comes into contact. Are you know about the jet? Jet have done like this. Jet did this. Did that like that. So many rumors, whatever he knows are which he don't know. Also, he will be keep on telling to all the people whoever comes into his contact. That comes under gossip chain. Done. Now merits and demerits not required to discuss. You can just go through with the PDF. It is very simple version. Non-verbal communication types we are going to discuss now. Non-verbal communication one by one we'll discuss. As of now, answer this question. Thumbs up. Thumbs up is what kind of communication? Verbal, non-verbal. This is 2024 June exam. It's a non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. 1 point done. Now, in non-verbal, the first one, non-verbal communication. First one is kinesics. Okay. Kinesics, which is a body language. You can see the posture. This posture and this posture, which is a body language, right? Which is more confident? Which is more confident? This is more confident. So, in a body language, which is a kinesics, kinesics is a body movement. Now, hands movement, legs movement, whatever we do while communicating, all are part of the kinesics, right? This is confident and this is submissive. That is, the movement in your body itself is communicating many things. In interview, this will be checked many times. Feelings and emotions, depression also can be taken from here. Even the facial expressions, emotions, all this can be identified by them. Now, paralanguage. Paralanguage is nothing but paralanguage is a voice modulation. This is also called as an paralinguistic. Hello everyone, welcome you all to the Achievers Adda platform. Hello everyone, welcome you all to the Achievers Adda platform. How it is making a difference, right? This is what paralanguage. Paralanguage is to what we speak is not important. How we speak is important. How we say the information is more important than what we say. How are we saying? With what tone? Is it an insulting tone? Is it a very rough? Is it disrespectful or respectful? What type? Paralanguage means how the words are spoken. It is called as a voice modulation. What we say is less important than how we say it. Voice modulation. Because people will forget what you say. but people will not forget how you said it. The way you are communicating will make a difference here. Effective speaker modulates his voice so as to make his speech lively and interesting. Lively and interesting. Right? Observing a non-observable cues of a voice enables the listener to understand the speaker attitude and emotions and true meaning of the message. True meaning of the message can be understood by the person. Next, the answer for this question. Please answer. Which of the following are the examples of paralanguage? Paralanguage examples. Tone of voice, volume, personal space, eye contact. See, space is separate, eye contact is separate. Tone, volume, pitch can come under here. A, B, E. Answer is A. Because paralanguage is related to voice, na? Tone of voice, how we talk. Next, artifactual and space language. Just now we have seen in the question, space. Artifactual means appearance. White and white, namaskar, politician. White and white dress. Formal suit, blazer, and official communication. This is family function, special function, the traditional attires. And this is formal communication. This is a rugged person, rowdy fellow, rowdy. Right? That is adornment communication. We also call it as artifactual communication, or we also call this as appearance. Artifactual or appearance. That is one type of communication. Next, what is proxemics? Proximity is a space language. Space language. Proximity is nothing but a space language. During the COVID time period, social distance came into picture. We got to know about social distance. What is social distance? In communication, it is one type of communication with respect to space. How much distance need to maintain with a person while talking? While talking. Here, this is called as a physical space communication. Based on the relationship with other person, it will be decided. Based on the relationship with other person, it will be decided. So here, if you see, there are 4 types. This is public communication. Public communication usually in a meetings, public meeting, like a Modi is addressing a meeting. This is public. A public meeting it will be. And this is going to be a social distance during the COVID-19, whatever the distance that we follow. Usually friends as well as business colleagues, casual friends, not the close friends. First is public distance, very long distance, means if I'm here, the audience will be there. This is social distances with the casual friends and all. And here personal distance. Personal distance is almost, personal distance is very much close friends and very good relationship, like a family members and all. Family members, like a parents, we will maintain this personal distance. But with a wife and girlfriend, we'll maintain an intimate distance. Or the boyfriend, why to hurt the girls, or the husband, whoever you are in relationship, right? Okay, intimate is very close people, where we maintain, even air also will not go between them. That is what intimate distance. Personal distance is like which you maintain with your close friends or family bonding and all. Social distance is with the casual friends and office colleagues. Public distance is with the total public. In a public meeting, we follow this. You can see the pictures. Intimate. And this is personal distance, close, three dx. Social distance. And this is public distance. Now, next type of communication. Time language. What is time language? What is time? Time language. Chronomics is called as a time language. Chronomics is a time language. Chronomics is a time language. So punctuality, we call it as punctuality. Be on time always. Punctuality. An individual who usually gets to convey a message about his personality. Whether he is punctual or not can be decided based on the time that he is following. Right? And in this, there are two things in a chronomics. Previous year question, I just wanted to emphasize here. Monochromic, polychromic. In a monochromic, we do single task at a single time. One time, one task only. Now we are listening. I am explaining the class. That's it. Polychromic means multitasking. At a single time, you are doing multiple tasks. I have to teach. I have to look at your chart. I have to look at the technical things which is on the screen. I have to keep on open this tab, that tab. Multitasking it is. At a single time, you are doing a multiple task. That is called as a polychromic. Monochromic is that only single task at a single time. Single task at a single time. Where is my video pen? Here only. No, sorry. Sometimes. Haptics. Haptics. Haptics is a touch communication that we do. Haptics is a touch communication that we do. Touch communication comes under the haptics. Right? A feelings and emotion can be conveyed this touch communication. Magadhira, have you seen? Dhira, dhira, dhira. If that touch 400 years back, going back to flashback 400 years, Mitravinda and Magadhira. That is, feelings and emotion can be expressed in the touch communication. You can see how they are consoling to each other. Shaking hands, touching, holding the hand, embracing, pushing, patting on the back. That comes under here. And yes, silence. What is silence? Silence is also one type of non-verbal communication. It's informal communication. That is, the recipient of message does not speak anything. Right? Does not speak anything. Silence can convey variety of meaning. Like a wife and husband. Even wife is trying to kill him. Husband will be like this sometime. He put a earphone and listen to the full deep Shiva songs. Right now, peaceful Buddha, Namo Buddhaya, all this. Because doesn't want anything into mind. That is why going into the peace. Silence can speak many things. He is being silent. Other person is rising like anything. So the meaning is somewhere communicating properly. I am being silent, but don't test my patience, like that. So it can be a anger, it can be a disappointment, it can be a frustration, it can be a lack of interest, it can be a resentment, whatever comes under here, right? These are the types of informal communication. And now the summary is that vocalics, which is a voice modulation, and kinesics, body language, proxemics, space language, haptics, touch language, chronomics and artifacts, monochromic as well as polychromic, both has been discussed. Done. Now let us understand these questions. The paradoxical relationship between the body and the mind. Body and mind. Okay. In communication results in. Sir, try to make a points. Try to make a points. Now you have to make notes. We completed theory now. Now PYQ2 theory. Question number 1. Point number 1. Paradoxical relationship between the body and the mind results in mindfulness, self-importance, obedience, and the humor. Answer is that option 4, humor. I think you didn't understand, right? Let's try to reveal what is paradoxical relationship. Paradoxical relationship is something which are conflicting to each other, contradicting to each other, conflicting, opposite to each other. Means what your body is saying and what your mind is saying. My mind is saying to take the class. My body is moving to the movie. Both are contradictory. Both are contradictory. That comes under the humor part. It results in humor because both are oppositing each other. The lightheartedness to negative or difficult situation. When Tom accidentally spills a coffee on himself during the day, he laughs it off. Actually, when normally if the coffee falls on our shirt or the t-shirt, we feel very serious way. But girl is there with you in a date. Obviously, no problem, no problem, no problem. Just accidentally spill off, no problem, no issue. Humor. Humor got created. Situation is same. When the girl is not there, your reaction would be different. When the girl is there, your reaction will be different. That is what? The contradictory. So, which is mind and the body both are contradicting. That results in a humor. Which of the following belong to field of a proxemics? Proxemics is a space language. Yep. Facial expression, crowding, territoriality, personal space, eye contact. Experience, no sir. Yes. With all the students, by seeing them, I got a full of experience on these aspects. Seriously. Promise on you, madam, Sunita. Some are getting a doubt who are watching in a YouTube. The people are watching from app also. I am receiving their comments and your comment both. Right? So answer is 2 here. Let me explain the unknown point, if any. Crowding, C, territoriality and the personal space. Space related aspects we need to identify. Facial expression is a non-verbal, but it is a part of where? Body language. That is kinesics, it will go. Crowding is related to where more crowding is there, space will be less. Territoriality also related to the geographical space. Territoriality, the boundaries will be there. For our Telangana, this is the boundary. For Karnataka, this is the boundary. That is a space. And personal space, which is one type of intimate space, personal space, public space. All these are. Eye contact also non-verbal, not part of here. Which of the following are identified as a non-verbal practice of communication? You are also here? Yes, yes. Sahil is evidence. He is also 𝐷𝐿 from the previous batch. Sorry, net and PhD. Which of the following are identified as non-verbal practices? Bolo. Mimicking speeches, accent, posture, gait, dress. Answer is C, D, E. Actually, new learning point is a terminology here. There is no conceptual point, only terminology. We know this, but we don't know this word. Synonyms. Posture, gait, dress. Three are non-verbal because speech is verbal. Mimicking speeches, mimicry. Accent is also speech now. Hello everyone, we are going to talk today like some accent will be there now for every person. I'm not insulting anyone. I'm just trying to tell the example. Okay, take it in that way only. So the accent that we use, a British's accent is different. South Indian's accent is different from the North Indians also. State to state it will differ. How we speak. So that is posture is a non-verbal practice. Posture is a artifactual communication. Artifactual communication. Gait is a manner of walking. How you walk. Gait is nothing but how you walk. That is important. And dress sense is also artifactual. How you dress. Based on the dress, communication will differ. Next, which of the following are the social emotion displayed during the interpersonal communication? We'll come to this point because interpersonal communication not yet discussed, but still we'll try to answer. Let's see. I think next is that only. Okay. Interpersonal communication. Gait is the way we walk. How we walk is gait. Sunita. That is why these small points, whenever it comes, please make a note then and there. From the PYQ, we are learning the theory. Theory to PYQ completed. Now PYQ to theory. New PYQ comes, then PYQ to theory. Interpersonal communication. That is option number 4. All are comes under the interpersonal only. Embarrassment, guilt, shame, pride, jealousy, all these are interpersonal. First, what is interpersonal? Do you know? What is interpersonal? One person to another person. If we communicate, one person to another person, sharing of information from this one person to another person is called as an interpersonal communication. And what is intrapersonal communication? Intrapersonal communication. Now I am preparing for UGC net examination. I am speaking within myself. Look at, I am speaking within myself. I am preparing for this UGC net exam from the past 2 years. I am not qualifying whether I will qualify this time or not. If I don't qualify, my parents will uh, force me to get married. After that, no job. When no job, wife also will not give respect. Or the husband also will not give respect. Later, what to do? Again, the children, I cannot study. So it will lead to depression. What to do now? This is what intrapersonal communication, oneself. Oneself. speaking within oneself is called as an intrapersonal communication. All forms of communication are evaluated in relation to. Intra means within self, inter means interaction with others. All forms of communication are evaluated in relation to. Every communication we can take it under one. What is that one? This is universal point, sir. All types of communication can brought under one. That is face-to-face communication. Why? Everywhere we can face this. Face-to-face communication, whether you are talking by virtually or non-verbal, verbal, oral, written, all can be categorized under the face-to-face communication. Face-to-face, which is a direct communication technically. Right? Next. Communication is a symbolic process and such depends upon the symbols, both arbitrary and conventional symbols. Both arbitrary and conventional symbol. Acha, it is 7:30 already. 1.5 hours completed. Oh my god. Arbitrary and the conventional. Let's try to understand the meaning of this question. Please write down these 2 points which I am going to tell you. Answer is 3. Statement 1 is correct. Second is wrong. Communication is a symbolic process. Means with the use of symbols. We use the symbols in a communication. When we use the symbols, we call it as a non-verbal communication, right? Such as depends on both arbitrary and conventional. Different symbols cannot be selected to represent an object or idea to communicate. Cannot is a wrong. Actually, different symbols can be used, can be selected to represent the different objects. Why can't we select? Cannot be selected is absolutely wrong. That is why second statement is going in a ulta. Communication is a symbolic process. I use this symbol or you use this symbol. It is to indicate the love. We use this symbol to show the victory. We use this symbol to give all the best. We use this symbol to hi and bye. The symbols that we use to communicate at different meanings in a different situations. Mirroring another person, non-verbal behavior facilitates. Mirroring another person's non-verbal behavior facilitates. So answer here is that option number 4, complaints. But actually, have you understood this question? Arbitrary means which? Last question. See, arbitrary means in a general meaning it is unfair. Unfair, but here the so in some cases the symbols are using to communicate, such as depends upon the symbols. Sometimes the symbols may be contradictory also. Symbols may be properly useful also. So do not use the contradictory symbols. Do not use the contradictory symbols. And according to the situation, symbols will change. Such depends upon the symbols that are being both arbitrary and conventional. Some may be contradictory, some may be supporting. Usual meaning of the arbitrary is that convention. The arbitrary is that unfair, but in this context, it may be contradictory. Mirroring the another person's non-verbal behavior facilitates compliance. So, in the context of interpersonal communication, the act of willingly conforming or yielding a request or a suggestion or a social influence. Another person non-verbal behavior is a technique used to rapport and connection. How others are behaving in a non-verbal way, you are trying to observe them and imitate the same actions. That is what mirroring. That is what mirroring. Right? Mirroring the another person non-verbal behavior. You are trying to just observe the other person, how he is, his body movement, his facial expression, his hand movement, eye contact, everything he is observing. Based on that, you are trying to make a connection, make a relationship, make a communication with him. That is compliance. Compliance means following the non-verbal behavior of other person. Next, which of the following are identified as a roles of non-verbal communication? Roles of non-verbal communication. Here also some technical words are coming, sir. Pair member, those who are making a notes, continue with your notes. Which of the following are identified as non-verbal? Question is very simple. But non-verbal linked to verbal communication. Non-verbal in relation to verbal. Accentuation, supervision, repetition, substitution, contradiction. Given answer is A, C, D, E. Except B, all are there. What it is, let us try to understand. What is the requirement of question? Requirement of question, linking the non-verbal communication to the verbal communication. Accentuation is using a non-verbal cues to emphasize or highlight certain aspect of verbal. So accentuation is going to useful for emphasizing. Emphasizing means we are just telling the most important thing. Now I am telling now in between the class, this is most important, make a note of it, make a note of it. That is accentuation. To support the verbal communication, I am using my non-verbal accent to make it over here. Repetition is a role of non-verbal. And keep on repeating some questions and some words again and again, because that repetition can make you to remember for a longer time period. Substitution is a role of non-verbal. It occurs replace or substitute a verbal for a verbal communication. Replace or a substitute. So in place of the verbal words, suppose in place of the hello, I can say without saying hello. That also indicating same substitution. I replace the verbal words with a non-verbal action. Contradiction. So non-verbal cues when it is conflicting. The word that we use, if it is conflicting with our non-verbal action, then also meaning will be different. So your actions and your words should match. Your actions are indicating one thing and your words are indicating other thing, then it will be conflicting in a understanding. It will make a difference. Now there are some questions still, but let us try to do this last question. We'll continue the remaining questions and remaining topic in tomorrow. Paralinguistic feature expresses emotions and communicate personality trait. Paralinguistic means voice modulation. Paralanguage. The subtle use of vocal inflections can provide special significance to verbal messages. Both are correct? Yes, given answer. Actually, answer is visible. Na? That is why you are saying. No, 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 no. Last question. Na? That is why bonus I have given. Okay, given. Paralinguistic. Express emotions and communicate. Here, the tone of voice, pitch, and the rate of it, volume, vocal quality, vocal inflection, all these are comes under where we can express our anger, we can express our consolence, and we can express whatever we want with our voice modulation. We can express that comes under the statement one. Vocal inflection can provide a special significance to the verbal. What we are speaking will make a difference in meaning based on how we are specifying them, how we are saying them. How we are saying will make a difference. How we are saying will make a difference definitely. So how we are saying will make a difference in verbal message understanding. If you say very serious way, then they'll understand serious way. If you are telling in a fun way, they will not take seriously. That way, it will make a difference. So, sir, remaining questions, I'll try to do it in tomorrow's session. Almost we have come to an end of this particular topic of types of communication. But tomorrow, interpersonal, intrapersonal, group communication, classroom communication, and also we have this communication, mediated communication. All things will get covered tomorrow. Even active listening, types of listening also. Right? So this is how the UGC net paid batch also going to happen, and it is going on. This is the third class of paid class. Technically, this is a paid class only, but first 3 days I told it is for free. So after watching this class, if you are willing to join or wishing to join for the paid batch course of UGC net December 2025, Sankalp batch we are running, and this is all in one for your net 𝐲𝐵 complete. The classes, live classes, like same as it is will be there. If you miss the live recording will be there inside the app. Topic wise PDF will be provided in a detailed way. You can download and print it. Topic wise previous year questions will be there. You can download and print it. And after completing every class, quizzes also will be provided. NTA interface CBT mock test series. Not only this, you are also going to get 10% extra discount, 1 month extra validity, and free revision course. The offer will come to an end definitely on 4th of August. So please make sure that you are going to take before that. Paper 1 plus paper 2 commerce, paper 1 plus paper 2 management, paper 1 only, paper 2 commerce only, paper 2 management only, all are available. The respective prices are being mentioned over here. You can just look at the MRP and look at the offer fees. Not only the fees, look at this 1 month extra free course and this all the components. Compare with any other platform. If you are getting all these things in a one place in this price, you can join there. Thank you so much. If you like our content, just one like button and share with your friends. Join in our Telegram group. Download 𝐷 app. So before going, just hit a like button and go if you like. If you don't like, you can hit a dislike button and go. Thank you so much.